Alright, here's the house that we tried to show you on my last video that was too dark. And then if you go up here, this is the antenna tower I was talking about. Looking real carefully, you can see there's lots of antennas that you can use to broadcast with. I think that's the one that we use. Now, the interesting thing about this house is that I happen to know the guy that lives here. And this is where I do my radio program. It's in the basement. So, I think it's a good idea that I give you a little tour here. This is downstairs. This is where the studios are. Down in this room, you can see there's microphones set up here. That's for when live bands come down here to play live. And we usually set up the drums out in this room. As you can see over here, there's a window into the other studio so the drummer can actually see the other players as they perform live. And then here, you've got a rack of albums. Yes, record albums, analog. And in here is the control room. If you take a look around the back of the console here, you can see where the people set up. You can see the stools, the microphones for live performances. On the wall here, some pictures of other bands that have played live right here in our studios. They're a little bit of fame right here on the wall. And then you come back around here and I'll show you the console. This is pretty much the heart of the unit, of the studio. As you can see, each channel here has a fader, its own fader. What that means is every input to the console has its own volume control. And in radio, I was always taught that everything is overlapped. This way you have an individual volume control for each channel. You can overlap everything and never have any dead air. I was always taught that it's very important. If you have even 1 second of dead air, you're letting your audience down. This is a traditional, old-style radio studio. Analog everything over here. Cart machines. If you know what a cart machine is, cart machine actually plays tapes. Here's a tape. It looks like an old 8-track. You see the hole in the bottom there? That's where the pressure roller comes up to actually play the tape. There's the front. They just simply slide into the machine like that. Everything in the studio is set up for what they call remote start. So if you need to start a machine, you can actually do it from the console. Each of these buttons at the bottom is an on-off switch. And when you push the on switch, it actually starts the machine that is corresponds to the channel that you're working with. Now, in addition to being a broadcast studio, this studio is also capable of multi-track recording. And there's an Alesis 8-track digital audio recorder along with the old CD players up above. And then over here we also have a Sony mini disc recorder, and that also doubles as a 6-channel input mixer, and that's how we mix our bands when they play live on our radio program. You can also use this out on the road if you want to record somebody live. And then I'll turn on a light down here. Down here we've got kind of a rack of equipment that we also use for when we're doing people live, doing live broadcast, which helps kind of tailor the sound to make it usable for a broadcast. Now, over here, these are turntables. And then you can see the wall of CDs we have up above here. Over here, on our turntables, I'm going to show you how we queue up a record. In the old days, you always had to cue a record to get it ready for airplay, so that when you started the turntable, the song began right away, hence no dead air. So, here's a little demonstration on how to cue a record. Some of you may find this very amusing, some of you may find this rather historic. On the console itself, I'll show you here, there's a little button that's marked Cue. If you push the Cue button, like that, then the input for that channel is routed through a little cue speaker over on the right side of the console here, and then you can hear what you're queuing up without it having to go over the air, so it's kind of like a little preview thing. So here we are. This is a record. You pull the record out. This is an album. Place it on the turntable, turn the turntable on, select the speed, and then you start it. And you'll hear it. Okay. And what you do is you find the very beginning of the song and you go back about 3/4 of a turn, depending upon the turntable. That's how far back you have to go so that it starts and is up to speed by the time the song starts, is what I was trying to say. So there you are. That's how it's done. Now I'm going to show you how an overlap is done on this console. Overlap basically meaning that you start the next event just as the first event is finishing. First we'll start the cart. We'll start the tape.
Here's a great record from the past.
And then you turn the cart off. Obviously the tape is running, or the turntable is running, as you can see back here. Now, if you go over here, you'll see there are 2 meters. These are the program meters, and these meters indicate the level at which you're feeding the equipment after the console. And the object is to keep those as close to the red as possible without going over it. What that does then is it makes sure that the level coming to the rest of the equipment is right in its recommended operating range. And then obviously you can adjust these meters by turning up and down the fader on the console here. Now the next thing that a DJ usually does is he'll talk over the song. And nowadays it's done usually with computer systems. They record the file, the audio file, right on the computer, and then the computer plays it back between the songs. In the traditional radio studio, and the way we do it here is very simple. You talk over the song while it's playing. I'll demonstrate. I'm going to plug you into a live feed from the console so you hear exactly the way it sounds like on the air. Before 10 o'clock on Modern Rock 94.5, 14 degrees below zero, and it's a cold one. From 1985, it is Dead or Alive. The name of the album is called Youthquake, and as long as you don't have to look at these people, it's just fine. You Spin Me Round and Round and Round is the name of the track. The hottest modern rock on the planet is yours. All you've got to do is get in touch with us. It's a live interactive radio program. What do I mean live interactive? Very simple. You, the listener, can talk to us. See? We use Instant Messenger, the screen name for AOL and AIM Instant Messenger Services, P1R4T3Z. And then if you want to use the MSN Instant Message Service, it's P1R4T3Z at hotmail.com. It's your link to this little radio program. The hottest modern rock on the planet right here, Armin van Buuren. The track is called Going Wrong on Modern Rock 94.5. Well, I'm hoping you've enjoyed our little demonstration, our little tour of our studio. The program is Modern Rock 94.5. It airs every Saturday night into Sunday morning from midnight till 4. You can gain access to the audio streams through our website. The website is www.angelfire.com/nd/P1R4T3Z.